The planet was quiet, but not peaceful. Red dust covered the ground like a dead ocean, and the sky above burned with a dull orange light. The air was heavy, thick with heat and silence. This was not a world made for humans. Everyone in the galaxy knew that. Humans were visitors here, temporary, unwanted, and often ignored. The human walked alone. His name did not matter yet. To this world, he was just another weak outsider. He moved slowly, scanning the ground with tired eyes. He was a worker, sent here to repair old sensors near alien land. The job paid little, but humans took what they could get. That was how the galaxy worked. Suddenly, the silence broke. A scream cut through the air. It was sharp, terrified. Not human. The man froze. He turned his head, listening carefully. Another scream followed, shorter this time, filled with panic. It came from beyond the rocky ridge ahead. The human's heart began to beat faster. Every rule said he should walk away. This planet belonged to a powerful alien clan. Humans were not welcome in their inner lands. But the scream came again, without thinking. The human started running. He climbed over the ridge and stopped suddenly. His breath caught in his throat. Below him was a wide field of dark ground. At first, it looked solid. Then he saw the movement. The ground was alive. Quicksand. In the center of it, sinking slowly, was a young alien girl. Her skin was pale blue, her eyes wide with fear. She struggled, but every move pulled her deeper. Around her neck was a symbol, made of glowing metal, a mark of leadership. She was not just any alien, she was the chieftain's daughter. Around the Quicksand stood aliens from her clan, tall, armored, armed. Their faces were calm, almost cold. None of them moved to help her. They only watched. The human did not understand. Why aren't they helping? He whispered to himself. The girl screamed again. Her arms were already sinking. Tears ran down her face. The human took a step forward. One of the aliens turned and raised a hand. "Do not interfere, human," the alien said in a deep voice. "This is not your place." "She's dying," the human replied. "This is the will of the ground," another alien said. "No outsider may touch her." The human looked from one alien to another. No fear, no urgency. Only rules. He clenched his fists. Humans were always told they were weak. Too emotional, too foolish. Maybe that was true, because the human ran forward. "Stop!" The alien shouted. But he did not stop. He tied his safety cable around a metal spike and slammed it into the ground. Then he threw himself flat, crawling slowly toward the girl. The sand pulled at him, hungry and strong. Every movement burned his muscles. The girl looked at him with shock. "Don't move," he said softly. "I've got you." He reached her hand. The sand tried to take him too. His arms shook. His breath came fast and painful. For a moment he thought he would fail. Then he pulled. With one final scream, the girl came free. The human rolled backward, dragging her onto solid ground. Both of them lay still, gasping for air. It was over. The human laughed weakly. "You're safe now," he said, but something was wrong. The aliens were silent. No thanks. No relief. No cheers. They stared at the human, not with anger, not with joy, but with something darker. Fear. The chieftain's guards stepped back. One of them whispered a word the human did not understand. The girl opened her eyes. She looked at the human, then at her clan. Her face went pale. "What have you done?" she whispered. The human frowned. "I saved your life." The girl closed her eyes. "You should not have," she said. The ground seemed colder. The human slowly stood up, confusion filling his mind. He had broken no law, he knew. He had only done what felt right. But as the alien clan looked at him, one truth became clear. Saving her was not the end. It was the beginning of something far more dangerous. The silence was heavier than the scream. Had been. The human stood still, his hands shaking. dust covering his clothes. The alien girl lay beside him, breathing but weak. The quicksand behind them slowly settled, as if nothing had happened. The planet returned to its quiet state, but something had clearly changed. The alien guards did not move forward. They did not rush to the girl. They did not thank the human. Instead, they stepped back, their weapons lowered, not in peace, but in fear. The human noticed it immediately. His smile faded. He looked around, confused. "I saved her," he said slowly. "She was going to die." One of the aliens spoke, his voice low and controlled. "Human, you should leave." "Leave?" the human repeated. "She needs help, medical help." The alien girl sat up with effort. Her eyes met his. There was no anger in them, only shock, and something close to dread. "You crossed sacred ground," she said quietly. The human frowned. "I crossed quicksand." A ripple moved through the alien guards. Several turned their heads away. One of them pressed a fist to his chest, a sign of deep meaning. "You touched the blood of the chieftain," the girl continued. "Outsiders are forbidden." The human took a step back. "I didn't know. No one told me." "Knowledge is not required," she replied. "Only consequence." The word felt heavy. The human looked around again. These aliens were powerful. They could crush him where he stood. Yet they kept their distance, as if afraid to come too close. "Is she in trouble?" he asked. "Did I make things worse?" The girl slowly stood with their help. She was taller now, standing straight, her presence strong. She placed a hand over the symbol on her chest. "You saved my life," she said. "That cannot be undone." That was not the comfort he expected. One of the guards stepped forward carefully, stopping several meters away. "Human," he said, "your action has bound you." "Bound me to what?" the human asked. The guard did not answer. Instead, the chieftain's daughter raised her hand. The guards froze. "You must go," she said. Now, the human hesitated. Every instinct told him to stay, to explain, to fix whatever he had broken. But the look in her eyes told him this was beyond repair. "All right," he said finally. "If you need help later, you must not be here when my father learns of this." She interrupted. That made his chest tighten. He turned and walked away, slowly at first, then faster. No one followed him. No one stopped him. But he felt their eyes on his back the entire time. When he reached the ridge, he looked back once. The alien girl was kneeling, not in weakness, not in ritual. The guards formed a circle around her, heads lowered. The human did not understand what he had seen. He only knew one thing. This was not over. Hours later, far from the quicksand field, a human reached a small outpost at the edge of alien territory. It was old, quiet, and mostly abandoned. He dropped his pack and sat heavily on a metal crate. His hands were still shaking. "Just another rescue," he muttered. "That's all." But his mind replayed the moment again and again. The silence, the fear, the girl's warning. He had worked with aliens before. He knew their rules were strict. But never had he seen gratitude replaced with terror. Above the planet, unseen by him, a signal moved through space. Not a message of anger. A message of debt. Deep within the alien capital, the chieftain listened, in silence as his advisors spoke. The chamber was vast, carved from black stone, lit by soft blue fire. "Your daughter lives," one advisor said. "Saved by a human." The chieftain closed his eyes. "How?" he asked. "Against our laws," another replied. "Against our will." The chieftain stood. The room went silent. "A life was taken from death," he said. "By an outsider." "Yes," the advisor said carefully. The chieftain's voice grew cold. "Then the old bond is awakened." Several advisors stepped back. "The life debt?" one whispered. "The deepest one," the chieftain replied. He turned toward the stars. "Find the human." Back at the outpost, The human felt a strange chill run down his spine. He looked up at the sky, unaware that something ancient had noticed him. He thought he had saved one life. He had no idea what that life was worth. The alien capital did not. Sleep. It waited. Deep inside the mountain city of the clan, stone halls stretched like veins through the rock. Blue light flowed along the walls, glowing symbols older than most civilizations in the galaxy. This place was not built for beauty. It was built for memory. The chieftain stood alone in the Hall of Oaths. He was tall, even for his species. His armor was dark and worn, not polished like the guards. Each mark on it told a story of survival. He did not sit on the throne. He had not earned the right to rest yet. Before him, the elders gathered in a wide circle. "The human has left our lands," one elder said. "He lives." "That changes nothing," another replied. "The bond is sealed." The chieftain's hands tightened into fists. Far away, his daughter was safe. That truth burned brighter than any star. But safety came with a price. It always did. "Speak the law," the chieftain ordered. An elder stepped forward, his voice slow and clear, meant to carry weight when one of the sacred blood is taken. "From death," the elder said, "and the rescuer expects nothing. The deepest life debt is formed." The room fell silent. Even the guards avoided eye contact. "The rescuer becomes protected by the clan," the elder continued. "Their enemies become our enemies. Their survival becomes our duty. Their word carries weight among us." Another elder added, "And if the debt is ignored, the clan loses its honor." The chieftain closed his eyes. Honor was not a word to them. It was existence. "A human," one elder said carefully. "Weak, short-lived, unimportant in the eyes of the galaxy." The chieftain opened his eyes. "Yet he ran into death," he sighed, his voice low, while my warriors stood still. No one answered. Outside the hall, the chieftain's daughter waited. She stood straight, her injuries hidden beneath ceremonial cloth. Her face showed no fear, only calm acceptance. She was allowed to enter. The elders stepped aside as she walked to her father. "You live," the chieftain said. "Because of him," she replied. "Did he ask for reward?" "No." "Did he demand protection?" "No." "Did he know who you were?" She shook her head. "He only knew I was dying." The elders exchanged looks. The daughter turned slowly, facing them all. "The human broke no sacred law," she said. "He followed a law older than ours." "Which law?" an elder asked. She answered without hesitation. "To save life when you can." The words hung in the air. The chieftain raised his hand. "The debt stands," he said. "Prepare the clan." A sharp breath moved through the room. "Prepare? All of it?" one elder asked. "All," the chieftain repeated. "Ships, banners, witness records. This will shake the galaxy," another warned. "It should," the chieftain replied. Across the stars, the clan moved. Massive ships, silent and dark, powered up in deep space. No war signals were sent. No threats were made. This was not an attack. It was recognition. Other species noticed immediately. "What is the clan doing?" traders asked. "Why are their fleets moving together?" Mercenaries whispered. Rumors spread like fire. "They are hunting someone. A war is coming. A human world will burn." No one guessed the truth. On a quiet station near the edge of known space, the human sat alone, repairing a cracked tool with tired hands. The station lights flickered. He barely noticed. He thought about the alien girl sometimes. He hoped she was well. That was all. He did not know that ancient laws were being spoken because of him. He did not know his name was being recorded in stone. Suddenly, the station alarm blinked once, then went silent. The human looked up, confused. Outside the window, stars disappeared. Something massive blocked the light. The human stood slowly. "What now?" he whispered. Far away, The Chieftain's fleet crossed the final jump point. The life debt was no longer a memory dot, it was coming to be fulfilled. Asterisk the galaxy, noticed before the human did. Long-range sensors across trade routes and border systems began to report the same impossible sight. Large signatures. Perfect formation. Silent movement. No war signals. No warnings. The clan fleet was moving to most species. That alone was a nightmare. The clan did not travel in numbers unless blood was about to be spilled. Entire worlds had learned that lesson the hard way. Whispers spread through stations and planets. This is not a patrol. This is not defense. This is a hunt. No one knew the target. That made it worse. The human, meanwhile, lived a quiet life on the edge of civilized space. He worked small jobs, repairs, transport runs, things no one else wanted. His station was old and half forgotten, floating between jump lanes like a piece of space trash. It suited him. He woke each day the same way. Work, eat, sleep. He had no idea the galaxy was watching the stars in fear. That morning, he stepped outside his quarters to fix a broken power relay. His hands moved on instinct. The work was simple, honest, safe. Or so he thought. Several systems away, a merchant convoy received the first visual confirmation. The ships emerged from jump space together, smooth and silent. Dark hulls. Ancient symbols glowing faintly along their sides. No escort. No broadcast. The convoy captain swallowed hard. It's them, he whispered. The fleet passed without slowing. No attack. No threat. Just movement. That scared everyone more. Back on the station, the human noticed something strange. The stars looked wrong. He paused, wiping sweat from his face, and looked out through the open service hatch. A shadow crossed the station's outer hull, slow and heavy. That's not possible, he said. Sensor should have screamed. Alarms should have sounded. They didn't. The station was blind. Across the galaxy, emergency meetings were called. This is not war, analysts said. It's worse. The clan does not move like this without reason. What could cause this level of response? No one answered, but old records were pulled. Forgotten laws were translated. Ancient warnings resurfaced. One phrase appeared again and again: life debt. Most species dismissed it as myth. Until now. The human finished his work and climbed down the ladder. He felt a strange pressure in the air, like the station itself was holding its breath. He walked toward the central corridor. Every light flickered. Every screen went dark. Then, one by one, they turned on again. All of them showed the same thing. A symbol. Old, powerful, alien. The human's chest tightened. I didn't order this, he muttered. A calm voice echoed through the station, speaking in perfect trade language. Human. He froze. Remain where you are. The voice was not angry. It was not threatening. It was respectful. That made it worse. Outside the station, space bent. Ships appeared without sound, without warning. Massive forms arranged themselves in a wide circle around the station. Careful not to touch it. They did not raise weapons. They did not lock targets. They waited. On nearby worlds, people watched in horror. That station is dead. No one survives. That kind of attention. Why would the clan care about one forgotten human? No one knew. Inside the station, the human stepped slowly into the main observation room. The stars were gone. In their place stood metal giants, stretching farther than he could see. His breath caught. This can't be for me, he whispered. The voice spoke again. You are the one. His legs felt weak. What did I do? He asked. There was a pause. You acted. In the flagship, the chieftain stood in ceremonial armor. Banners of the clan hung behind him, glowing softly. His daughter stood at his side, alive and unbroken. Confirm the location, he ordered. Confirmed, an officer replied. The human is present. The chieftain nodded. Proceed with honor. Back on the station, the human's communicator activated on its own. A single message appeared. Do not run. He laughed weakly. I wasn't planning to. The station trembled gently as docking permission was requested. Requested. Not forced. The human swallowed hard. Whatever was coming was not here to kill him. That thought should have been comforting. It wasn't. The station did not shake when the first alien ship docked. It moved with care. That alone confused the human more than fear ever could. The clan did not crash through defenses. They did not force entry. Every action was slow, controlled, and precise. As if the station were something fragile, not something valuable. The human stood in the observation room, his hands open, his breathing shallow. The voice had told him not to run. He had listened. There was nowhere to go anyway. A soft sound echoed through the station. Footsteps. Heavy, measured, many of them. The doors at the far end of the corridor slid open. The human expected soldiers. Was wrong. The first to enter were not armed guards but standard bearers. Tall aliens stepped forward carrying long banners marked with glowing symbols. The fabric moved like liquid light. Each symbol told a story older than most star systems. Behind them walked the chieftain. He was larger than the others, his presence filling the room without effort. His armor was ceremonial, not meant for battle. It carried scars, not decorations. At his side walked the girl. Alive. The human's breath caught. She met his eyes and gave a small nod. The guards formed two lines but kept their weapons lowered. Every movement was precise. Every step followed tradition. The human felt very small. Chieftain stopped 3 steps away from him. Silence stretched. No one spoke. The human broke first. If I did something wrong, he said carefully, I didn't mean to. The chieftain studied him, not with anger, not with judgment, with curiosity. You acted without knowing, the chieftain said. His voice was deep but calm. That matters, the human swallowed. I just didn't want her to die. The girl stepped forward. My father, she said. This is the human. The chieftain nodded once. Then, to the shock of everyone watching from hidden cameras across the galaxy, he lowered himself. He knelt. The sound echoed through the station. One knee to the ground. His head bowed. The banners behind him dipped in perfect motion. The human froze. What are you doing? He whispered. The chieftain spoke, his voice clear and strong. You pulled my daughter from death, he said. You asked for nothing, you turned away. He raised his head. By our oldest law, your life is now bound to ours. One by one, the clan followed. Guards, officers, advisors, all knelt. The station seemed too small to hold that moment. The human felt dizzy. You don't have to do this, he said. I didn't save her for a reward. That is why the debt is absolute. The chieftain replied. The girl smiled softly. You saw me as a person, she said. Not as a symbol, not as power. The human shook his head slowly. I just saw someone drowning. The chieftain stood. So did the galaxy, he said. He turned to his officers. Record this moment, he ordered. Let all species witness. It crossed the stars. Screens lit up. Worlds stopped. Wars paused. A human stood while an entire clan knelt. Not in fear. In honor. The chieftain faced the human again. From this moment, he said, you are under the protection of my bloodline. Any who harm you will answer to us. The human let out a shaky breath. That seems like a lot. A faint sound moved through the room. Laughter. Not mocking. Warm. You saved what could not be replaced. The chieftain said. There's no smaller response. The girl stepped closer. My life was taken back from death, she said. Lie. Choose to stand with you. The human looked around at the kneeling figures, the banners, the silent guards. I don't even know your names, he said. The chieftain placed a hand over his chest. You will, he replied. The galaxy will. Outside the station, the fleet shifted position. Not to attack. To guard. Ships spread into defensive formation, shielding the station from every direction. For the first time, a human outpost was under clan protection. The human sat down slowly, his legs finally giving out. This is going to change things, isn't it? He asked. The chieftain nodded. It already has. The girl looked out at the stars. They will fear you, she said softly. The human frowned. Why? Because, she answered, humans do what others cannot. Asterisk. The galaxy did not react at first. It froze. Across hundreds of systems, leaders, soldiers, traders, and scholars watched the same recording. A human standing still, an entire clan kneeling. No weapons raised. No demands made. Silence followed, then fear. Emergency councils were called within hours. Long-standing wars were paused. Trade routes were closed. No one wanted to move without knowing what this meant. The clan has chosen a human. One leader whispered. Not chosen, another corrected. Bound. The difference mattered. On the station, the human felt the change before he understood. Its ships that once ignored him now held position at a respectful distance. Messages flooded the station's systems, but none demanded answers. They asked questions, careful ones. The human sat across from the chieftain in a simple meeting room. No guards stood between them. The girl remained nearby, quiet but alert. I never wanted power, the human said. Power is not something you want, the chieftain replied. It is something that arrives. The human sighed. I saved a life. That's all. The chieftain leaned forward slightly. You reminded. You was of something we had forgotten, the girl nodded. That laws exist to protect life, not replace it. Across the galaxy, the reaction spread. A border patrol from another species rerouted away from the protected station. A pirate fleet changed course without explanation. Even ancient empires adjusted their maps. Humanity's position shifted overnight. Not through war. Through choice. On Earth and its colonies, the news hit like a storm. Humans gathered in silence as they watched the footage again and again. No cheers, no pride-filled shouting. Just quiet understanding. That's us, one colonist said. That's what we do. Not everyone was pleased. In the shadows of the galactic core, powerful groups watched with anger. A single human, one voice hissed. This changes nothing. Another replied. It changes everything. Plans were adjusted. Long-term threats were reconsidered. No one wanted to be the first to test the clan's promise. The human stood near the station window, watching the stars. The girl joined him. They are afraid now, she said. He shook his head. They shouldn't be. They fear what they don't understand, she replied. Humans confuse the galaxy. He smiled faintly. We confuse ourselves too. The chieftain approached, carrying a small object. He placed it carefully in the human's hand. A symbol. Not a weapon. A mark of recognition. This grants you voice, the chieftain said. Among us, and among those who fear us. The human looked at it. I don't know what to say. Say what you always say, the girl replied. The truth. A message was prepared, not a threat. Not a command. A statement. It was sent. Across known space, this human acted without fear, without reward, and without hate. Any who harm such beings will answer to us. The message carried no anger. That was what terrified everyone. The human returned the symbol to the chieftain. I don't want to speak for humans, he said. I only want to speak as one. The chieftain nodded slowly. That, he said, is why this works. In quiet corners of the galaxy, old myths were rewritten. Humans were not conquerors, not saviors. They were something more. Dangerous. They cared. The girl looked up at the stars. This is not the end, she said. The human nodded. I know. The galaxy had learned its lesson, but lessons have consequences. Asterisk. Time passed, but the galaxy did not forget. The station that once drifted alone in quiet space became a place of careful attention. Ships slowed when they passed. Signals announced arrival instead of forcing entry. No one spoke of fear openly, but everyone felt it. Not fear of the clan, fear of what humans represented. The human returned to his routine, though nothing was truly the same. He still repaired systems, still took small jobs, still walked the metal halls alone. Power had been placed in his hands, yet he carried it like a fragile thing. He did not use the symbol. He did not call on the clan. That choice mattered. The girl remained for a time. She watched how humans lived, how they argued, laughed, and helped each other without orders. She saw weakness, yes, but also something rare. Choice. One day, as they stood near the observation window, she spoke. You could ask for anything. She said, protection, wealth, status. He smiled slightly. Then it wouldn't mean anything. She studied him. That is why the galaxy struggles with you. Far away, the chieftain addressed the elders. The human has made no demands. One elder said, he uses no power. The chieftain nodded. Then the debt grows stronger. Should we remind him? Another asked. No, the chieftain replied. He knows who he is. Across known space, stories changed. Children of many species learned a new lesson in their schools. Not about weapons. Not about fleets. Not about a human who stepped forward when others did not. Trade routes shifted to include human worlds. Negotiations slowed, becoming careful and respectful. The word human stopped being used as an insult. It became a warning, not a violence. Of consequence. The human received a message. One quiet cycle, a distress call, a small ship, trapped, not human. He listened. He sighed. He stood. I'll go, he said. The girl watched him prepare. You don't have to, she said. I know. He took no weapons. Only tools. As his ship moved into the stars, unseen eyes followed. Not to control him. To learn. The rescue was simple. The reaction was not. Another species had been saved. Another life taken from death without reward. When questioned later, the human gave the same answer he always had. Someone needed help. The galaxy listened. Back on the station, the girl prepared to leave. Her duty called her home. Before she went, she placed her hand over her chest and bowed her head. My life was saved once, she said, but my people were saved too. He looked confused. I didn't do anything that big, she smiled. You showed us what honor really looks like. The fleet departed in silence, but something remained. Not ships. Not symbols. Understanding. In the final records of that cycle, the event was written carefully, not as a war, not as an alliance, but as a reminder. When the galaxy judged humanity as weak, one human chose to care. And the galaxy learned that caring can change everything. The human returned to work the next day, because that is what humans do.